Marathon residents say they've got health concerns about a nearly 2-year-old fuel spill. Prime Minister Perry Christie admits that he hasn't spoken to Bambootown MP Renwood Wells since he fired him, and that Shantytown resident who made those comments, which were perceived as threats, apologized. We've got these stories and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Krishna Virgil, and this is the Tribune's Top 5. Nearly 2 years have passed since a reported 30,000-gallon underground fuel spill in the Marathon community. And since then, the only thing that's heating up in that area are the health concerns of residents.
Marathon residents said they continue to live in fear for their health nearly 2 years after a reported 30,000 gallons of gasoline leaked at a nearby fuel station. The concerns have intensified following independent research that has linked exposure to a standard compound found in fuel to cancer. More than 7 months have passed since a comprehensive statement was promised by the government on the underground gas leak from the Rubis gas station at the Robinson Road and Old Trail Road sections. After several walkabouts in the area, the residents told the Tribune that they got no information from the government about remediation plans for the area or the results of initial tests conducted to determine their level of exposure. According to documents obtained by the Tribune, the Ministry of Environment and Housing requested that Rubis Bahamas conduct a health assessment of the neighboring area and biannual health assessments of those individuals determined to be directly affected by the fuel release. However, residents with test wells drilled on their property confirmed that no health assessments have been conducted to date. And murder investigators were busy this week following the shooting deaths of 2 men in separate incidents within 6 hours on Monday. The deaths pushed the murder count to 93 according to the Tribune's records. One of the victims, police confirmed to the Tribune, was wearing an ankle monitoring bracelet and out on bail for a serious offense. He was identified as 21-year-old Eric Michael Martin of Hospital Lane. Martin was walking on Hospital Lane at around 8 p.m. when men in a red-colored SUV pulled up and shot him. The second man was 21-year-old Shaquan Stewart Ray of Merton Avenue. He was shot multiple times just before 3 p.m. The Tribune understands that he was washing his car when the shooting took place.
The nation's chief revealed on Wednesday that since he gave Bambootown MP Renwood Wells his walking papers as the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works and Urban Development, the two haven't spoken.
Prime Minister Perry Christie admitted to the Tribune that while he did not speak to Bambootown MP Renwood Wells since he fired him as the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works and Urban Development, he did expect that by now Mr. Wells would have explained to the Bahamian people why he signed a $650 million letter of intent with Stella Waste Management in July. Since no statement has come from Mr. Wells, Mr. Christie again said that he would eventually speak on the matter. However, he gave no time frame as to when this could happen. He said, quote, "I will get to it. I do understand my obligation to the public. I had anticipated that he was going to say something besides that if Port Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rawlins goes, he was going to go as well. He is a young Bahamian and I am giving him the opportunity to speak to the issue. If he doesn't, obviously I will have to speak to it and I try to explain that to him," end quote. When asked if his investigations were able to pinpoint why Mr. Wells signed the letter of intent, Mr. Christie responded, quote, "Only he can explain that. Only Wells knows why," end quote. The signing of the LOI was reportedly unauthorized. State National Security Minister Keith Bell stood by his earlier comments that there has been a recent spike in rapes, but insisted that Police Commissioner Ellison Greenslade was correct when he told reporters that the overall reported cases of the crime are down. Mr. Bell told the Tribune that he did not want to get into a back-and-forth argument with the commissioner or other police officials over the statistics. His words came after Mr. Greenslade told reporters on Wednesday that rape statistics were trending downward compared to last year. It appeared that he was contradicting Central Detective Unit Chief Superintendent Paul Roll and Mr. Bell, who both said earlier this month that authorities were concerned about a spike in sexual assault cases. On September 7th, Superintendent Roll raised alarm following the assault of 4 women over a 3-week period. 2 of them had been walking and the other 2 were driving their vehicles before they were attacked. A week after his warning, another woman was raped when a man forced his way into her home. The following day, a woman was raped by a man she knew who entered her home at Hay Street, police said.
The shantytown resident of Haitian descent, whose comments landed him on the wrong side of the law this week, calls for Bahamians and Haitians to live as one, as he offered an extensive apology just moments after his release from police custody.
30-year-old Anson Ali, moments after being released from 3 days in police custody, said he didn't really mean what he said as he apologized to all Bahamians. Mr. Ali turned himself into authorities at the Central Detective Unit on Monday, where he gave a statement. The next day, he was taken to the Cable Beach Police Station, where he was held until Wednesday. He said, quote, "When I said what I said, you know plenty people were upset. You know you have some people who will kill you for them type of talks. So I said, let me lay low. Then when I really think about it, I said, let me turn myself in. It isn't making any sense." End quote. During a demolition of a shantytown off Joe Farrington Road last Friday, Mr. Ali, who was visibly irate, told a ZNS reporter that clearing down shantytowns could lead to reprisal from the Haitian community. He added that Bahamians were outnumbered by Haitian Bahamians and cautioned Bahamians not to start something that they could not finish. At one point, he said he felt like putting, quote, "a Colombian necktie," end quote, on people, which is slang for cutting someone's throat. The comments triggered condemnation not only from Bahamian officials, but from the Haitian embassy in Nassau.
And before we go, we here at the Tribune would like to say congratulations to ultra-marathon Australian swimmer Chloe Macardo, who swam almost 80 miles from the southern tip of Eleuthera to New Providence. Congratulations, Chloe. You were awesome. Want to get in on the discussion? Well, here's how you can. Just log on to our website at www.tribune242.com. Like us on Facebook, the Tribune News Network. Send us a tweet at Tribune242 or subscribe to our YouTube page, Tribune242.